Take your mind into the wonderful world of physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kinetic Hour. Conversations with you and guests. With your host, Kenan, Wesley, Mason. That's me. Now, the next person I want to bring up, because again, people have been speaking out in an ill manner. So I'm going to pull up another photo here, and then I'm going to pull up a report. So this person right here, this person here, this person, and we see the transformation, and trans being the key word here, the transformation of one Bruce Jenner, Olympian, gold medalist, 1976 Olympics, Montreal, Canada, and a household name Bruce Jenner was for decades, as you see on the left. Now in the middle, you see he and his two daughters, Kendall and Kylie, and his ex-wife, Kris Jenner, which I'll get to her in just a few. But you see them as they were a happy family once upon a time. And then we fast forward some years later, most recently, as of nearly 10 years ago now, Bruce made a transformation and now wants to be known as Caitlyn Jenner, the she-man, because she is not truly the full-fledged she. He is still legally a he, because he hasn't gone through the necessary surgical procedures to turn he into a she. And so instead of calling him a transgender female, he is still known as what's been called, or what used to be called, a transvestite, because he still has his male genitalia. He hasn't completely gone through the surgery to become a full-fledged female, but he still wants to be known as Caitlyn. And so as I come out of here, I'm going to pull up this report, because Caitlyn, or Bruce, however you want to term him or her, Caitlyn Jenner, as reported that OJ Simpson has passed away. Caitlyn made a statement. And I'm just going to pull it up here so we all can see. And this is from page 6. And I'll just read the headline here. Headline: Caitlyn Jenner claps back at trolls, comparing her fatal car crash to OJ Simpson's, quote, brutal, end quote, murders. And this is because when it was announced that OJ Simpson passed away of prostate cancer. Let me just forward here, because it says right here, the online skirmish began when the reality star bluntly wrote on the social media platform Thursday, quote, "Good riddance, OJ Simpson. Good riddance." This is a official statement from Bruce Caitlyn Jenner. Good riddance, as you see it right here. Just moments after Simpson's family announced that he had died at the age of 76. Jenner and the former Buffalo Bills player were once close pals, but their friendship ended following the 1994 murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown and her friend Ron Goldman. Now, right below this here, we see, because a lot of people are saying that, wait a minute, Bruce, wait, weren't you involved in the murder of in a car accident where you rear-ended a woman and she happened to pass away because you rear-ended a woman and she drove off into the other side of the street and ran, as we see the results of this car crash from February of 2015. The Olympian settled a civil lawsuit to the family of, and her name is here as we see Nicole and Ron, or Nicole and OJ Simpson. But we see here that oh gosh, where is it? Because it's in here. Oh, here it is right here. As we see OJ and Nicole when they were in happier times. Some X users, X being Twitter, or was Twitter at one time. However, some X users noted that the Keeping Up with Kardashians alum once rear-ended a car, resulting in the death of a 69-year-old woman named Kim Howe, or Kimberly Howe. She was never charged, or he was never charged, because this happened when he was in transition. He hadn't really officially made it known that he wanted to be known as she, Caitlyn Jenner. But he was never charged and agreed to pay a settlement of $800,000 to the Howe family, so he wouldn't go to trial and be charged for manslaughter. And how did this accident occur? As I go back up right here, how did this accident occur? Because Bruce wasn't paying attention while driving on the road. He was texting. He was texting, which here in California is deemed illegal to text and drive because of things like this here. It was made illegal to drive in California while texting, or you can't text while driving. It's known as being illegal here in California. But as reports and truths came forward, Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner, was texting, which means that his attention was down here versus forward on the road, which is the reason why he slammed, as witnesses reported, that he was going at a pretty fast speed for him to rear end this car of Kimberly Howe, and because of the force, she veered off into the other side of the street and was rammed head on, which her injuries caused her death, as she was reported as being dead on the scene, or at the scene of the incident in Malibu on Pacific Coast Highway, which is a famous highway here in California where many celebrities, I've driven on in that area of Pacific Coast Highway myself. It's a beautiful scenery, overlooking the ocean and everything. But if you're texting and not having and you're having your attention down here versus up here, then yeah, an accident may occur when you're not paying attention. And this is the damage that Caitlyn Bruce Jenner created, because he wasn't paying attention while he was on the road. But he says that obviously OJ did it, as that's his opinion, that it's obvious to him. Well, it wasn't obvious to a jury of 12, Miss Caitlyn Jenner, as we see her right here. So for Caitlyn, people have their opinions, and they're entitled to have their opinions. And again, it's just unfortunate that these kind of things happen. It's just unfortunate that someone had to lose their life in February of 2015 because Caitlyn Jenner, as I'm trying to get out of, there we go. Let me get out of there. As we see that people still have ill feelings toward Orenthal James Simpson, which is understandable. I mean, I get it. They all knew each other. Bruce and his wife, or ex-wife, Kris Jenner, they all knew each other. They all hung out together. They all threw parties together. There's still this report, or this rumor, that one of the daughters, Chloe, could be the real daughter of OJ Simpson and Kris Jenner. We'll never know if that's true or not. They've all denied it. And at this point, we can't do anything but believe that all three girls that came through Kris and Robert Kardashian at the time, that they are the parents of Chloe and Courtney and Kimberly. But that has been a rumor floating around for a lot of years now, that OJ Simpson may be the real father of, or the biological father of, Khloe Kardashian. And again, we'll never know. So as of right now, all we can do is keep and stick to the story, or the reality, that Khloe Kardashian is the daughter of Robert Kardashian. And it will remain that way until something else may come forward later on in the future. Who knows? But as of right now, all that is just a rumor. Speaking of Kris Jenner, As I'm going to bring up another photo here. So here, oh boy. So it's reported that Kris Jenner has fled the country because, as we all know, that Sean Combs, as of it's been almost 2 weeks now, had both of his homes raided. Home here in Los Angeles and his home in Miami, Florida. Both of his homes were raided by Homeland Security. And it's been reported that there was some evidence that was found in his Los Angeles home where the name of Kris Jenner has come forward. Now, what they found remains to be seen, whether it may be tapes or audio or film footage. We don't know as of yet. We don't know. But it's been rumored. But it's been rumored that Kris and Sean Combs have possibly, or the buzzword allegedly, have had some dirty business dealings. Possibly. We don't know yet, but the word is that Homeland Security did find some evidence, or they call it disturbing evidence, that possibly Kris Jenner and Sean Combs have done some dirty deeds together. And I'm not talking about anything sexual, although you never know, that is possible too. But it's been reported that Homeland Security found some evidence of Kris Jenner. Again, it could be audios or video footage of Kris Jenner and Sean Combs possibly doing some sort of alleged dirty business dealings. But all that remains to be seen at this point. I'm pretty sure that certain other findings will come to the forefront in due time, because Sean Combs hasn't been charged with anything still as of yet. But when you do a raid such as what happened a couple of weeks ago, and there have been some disturbing findings, that's been the word, disturbing, and we have to keep using the word alleged, because it's alleged that Sean Combs has done some very disturbing, dirty deeds to certain people that have been in his presence or been a part of Bad Boy Entertainment. Excuse me, or his company Revolt, which he sold off, I think, all of his shares now. So again, but he's remained, or he's proclaimed his innocence still. He hasn't been charged with anything yet, and he still said he's innocent of all allegations, even though he made a big settlement to his former girlfriend, quote, girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, otherwise known as Cassie. And as you can see here in this picture, happy times with Kris Jenner and Sean Combs. So at this point, we don't know what's going to come of any of this, but we know that it has been reported that Kris Jenner may have been involved in some dirty dealings with Sean Combs. Now, how do all these people relate? I showed DJ Mr. C earlier, and it's been reported that DJ Mr. C was in talks with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, possibly reporting some things that he may have known about Sean Combs, and quite possibly some substantial evidence regarding the untimely passing or murder of Christopher Wallace, otherwise known as the notorious B.I.G., or most people call him Biggie. As his murder still hasn't been, still to this day, and it's been over 25 years, and his murder still hasn't been solved. But DJ Mr. C, it's been reported that he was in talks with, the FBI, because he may have known about some things regarding Sean Combs and Christopher Wallace. Whatever he may have told the feds before his passing, that may come out at a later time. How much he was able to tell the feds, we don't know. How much more he may have wanted to tell the feds, we'll never know, because he's no longer with us. So, and again, with so many people that have passed away, that have been in the presence or in somehow, some way, shape, form, or fashion been involved with Sean Combs, whether it's Christopher Wallace, Craig Mack, other people that were involved. We see a lot of people that left Bad Boy Entertainment on not so great terms. Whether it be Mace. We don't hear too much from Faith Evans anymore after her horrible divorce from Stevie J. So yeah, DJ Mr. C. Then we go to Kris Jenner. As I just said, she may have some things to do with Sean Combs as well. And all that will come forward in due time. If she has disappeared all of a sudden, it's reported that she left the country, because no one's seen her publicly over the last couple of weeks. But if she happens to pop up somewhere, then hey, all this goes away, But as of right now, no one's heard or seen her since it's been reported that some things have come up, and they call it disturbing. So will we find out that, Kris was involved in some things with Sean Combs? Will we find out that Sean Combs, in fact, did have something to do with the murder of the notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace? Will it come forward, possibly one day, that Sean Combs had even possibly something to do with the untimely murder of Tupac Shakur, which that one still hasn't been solved? And the two are within 6 months apart from each other. Tupac passing in September of 1996, and Christopher Wallace passing in March of 1997. And neither one have been solved as of yet. And there have been many people that have gone on certain platforms and talked about the things that where they were at the time. We see Keefe D and all these people. Even Suge Knight on his podcast called Collect Calls, which is great. Even Suge has questions and has come forward about certain things that have been happening with Sean Combs. And Suge has nothing to lose. Suge has nothing to lose. Hell, he's been in prison now for almost, 10 years now? Since 2015, 2016. And he won't be coming out for at least another 10 years. So he has nothing to lose. And everything that he's been saying on his podcast, all of it makes sense. It's like putting the pieces of the puzzle together. A 1,000 piece puzzle. And slowly but surely, certain pieces that have been missing are starting to come together through the truth telling of Suge Knight, through the truth telling of Sean Combs' former bodyguard, Gene Deal, who's great as well. And he's been talking about this for years. I remember seeing him on a couple of documentaries from almost 10 years ago, talking about the murder of Christopher Wallace. And Christopher Wallace's mother, before she passes away, hopefully she'll get some closure and find out who truly murdered her son. We know Afeni Shakur has already passed away, so she's already with Tupac. She's already with her son. And so one day, and truth usually always comes out 30, 40, 50 years later. Just like JFK, we know that Lee Harvey Oswald did not kill JFK. We know that James Earl Ray did not kill Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We know this now. We know this now. So, possibly, and I hope so, before Voletta Wallace makes her transition, that she gets closure by knowing whether or not Sean Combs had anything to do with the passing of her son, Christopher Wallace. And I'm pretty sure she's still waiting, because we haven't heard from her in quite some time as well. So I hope that she gets closure before she makes her transition. So a lot of things have been happening. Maybe even one day we'll really find out who truly committed the crimes of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman. Maybe one day we'll find out the real truth of that, because even that's been up in the air for all these years. And people still believe that OJ committed those crimes. And again, which is understandable, but it created a great divide between we as African American people and Caucasian people, or what we call black and white people. It created a great divide. Because OJ Simpson was a grand figure publicly. So was Bruce Jenner publicly. They were grand figures. And again, OJ Simpson moving from being a football star to becoming a sports announcer, sportscaster, and then going into the field of entertainment through acting. And he was great at it. We remember all the commercials that he did for the Hertz company, you know, selling all these used cars and all the rental cars, Hertz. And he made them a whole lot of money. Actually, he put that company on the map, Hertz. So maybe one day, and like the Goldman attorney, Dave Cook, said he died without confessing his sins. Well, again, you don't know that because you weren't there when he passed away. So you don't know what he confessed or didn't confess. All of it is speculation. And at this point, after 30 years, all of it is speculation, assumption, and emotions. That's what it is. And that's what it will remain to be. Until maybe one day more truths will come out about truly who truly committed those crimes, because there have been uh, a lot of conflicting information. There's been a lot of documentaries that have come out about certain things that happened on that night back in 1994 that had absolutely nothing to do with OJ Simpson. His former attorney, who's passed away now, the late, great Johnny Cochran, who was also the former attorney for Sean Combs. And I'm pretty sure Johnny Cochran knew some things about Sean Combs as well, some truths about some of the things that he's done. Mark Garagos, same thing, former attorney for Sean Combs. I'm pretty sure he knows a lot of stuff about what Sean Combs has done over the last 30 years. I mean, he's recently been going on all these different talk shows defending Sean Combs. Again, which is understandable. If this has been your client and he's been paying you well, but I'm pretty sure he knows a lot of stuff about what Sean Combs is doing or has done. There's more allegations coming forward through a couple of people now. I can't think of their names right now. Their names escape me, so my apologies. But you can go to there's plenty of other social media greats that that share all this stuff almost on a daily basis. That go into all this stuff even deeper than I do. So there's more allegations coming forward about some of the trafficking allegations, sexual assaults by Sean Combs. And, so again, a lot of things remain to be seen right now when it comes to Sean Combs, the passing of Christopher Wallace, the passing of Tupac Shakur. We know that one of Uptown's former artist, Al B. Sure, is supposed to be coming out with a documentary telling all the tales of some of the things that he was going through with Sean Combs and his near-death experience, because he was poisoned almost in the same way that his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, the mother of his son, Quincy, and the former girlfriend of Sean Combs as well, one Kim Porter, who's no longer with us, who is, no longer with us through being poisoned, because the day before and the day before that, she was alive and well, no health issues. Same thing with Al B. Sure. But he fought through. Obviously, Kim Porter's spirit was watching over him because he's still alive to tell about it. As other people have passed that have had dealings with Sean Combs. Black Rob is no longer here. Craig Mack is no longer here, right? And he passed away mysteriously as well. So again, a lot of things remain to be seen. And when things do start to unravel and unveil themselves, I'll be back on to talk about them and give my opinions. If you have opinions, leave your comments as this will go up on YouTube. Leave your comments. Tell what you think is going on with Sean Combs. If you think Kris Jenner has anything to do with any of these allegations regarding Sean Combs, because I'm pretty sure many people have their opinions about all of this. As we see on social media almost every day, somebody has an opinion about all the allegations coming up. The passing of DJ Mr. C, which is that in itself is a mystery, especially being the fact that he was going to the Federal Bureau to speak on some things that he may have known or things that he did know about Sean Combs and the passing of Christopher Wallace. And he's gone all of a sudden. So all that remains to be seen. As I sign off, once again, subscribe to the Kinetic Hour. Tell everyone that you know about the Kinetic Hour. KENNETIC, the Kinetic Hour, and also Kinetic Fit and Wellness Info, which is everything health and wellness related. Physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and emotional health. But again, tell everyone you know to tune in to the Kinetic Hour. And until next time,